Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to the gold medal game, the elite women, where it's Victoria in white and Western Australia in black. The Victorian team is Megan Keppert as captain, Romy Keppel vice captain, Casey Hoskins, Lucy Padermo, Nina Barry-Macaulay, Danielle Gibson, Belle Keeley, Caitlin Ten-Bensel, Anna Holt and Kirstine Reid. And for Western Australia, Bronwyn McKenzie captain, Claire Forward vice captain, Samantha Blackham, Sarah Walker, Megan Pardo, Josephine Suyanto, Zoe Canavan, Camilla Reyes Padermo, Maybelle Barr and Jane Gilligan. We're underway in the women's gold medal match. And looks like the Victorians won that strike against Western Australia. A large scrum forming in the middle. Immediately it goes out to the far wall. It's very much pinned on that far side for the moment. A little bit of movement, but certainly not much. The Victorians. Yep, the ref has made a call. It's against Western Australia. So Western Australia will be pushed back to that 3 metres. We're underway again. A lot of defensive effort by both teams. It's appearingly a very evenly poised game at the moment. That's Kirstine Reid for Victoria, just pushing it off to Romy Keppel. And Western Australia, who just made an advance down the pool to attack the Victorian goal, but you can see the Victorians have defended out to the corner. Another push off back out to the centre, but that's been negated by the Western Australian fullback, who's brought it across to the side, but the Victorians are now trying to push a drive down on the near wall. And we've got another referee's call, and that is against Victoria. We're underway again. Western Australia take the puck, a good flick forward, immediately met by the Victorian forwards. Quite a good flick across the pool. And the West Australians are driving forward and being pushed down to the wall and into the corner. Obviously a free for Victoria here. There seems to be delay in getting the buzzer down. Passed through to Kirstine Reed, but picked up quite quickly by Western Australians. Now another push through by Megan Keppert. Reaching back, and there's another Victorian behind her who's now breaking out towards the centre. Immediately responded to and picked up by Western Australia with another diagonal swim towards the centre of the pool. And then a curl. And another curl back and picked up by the Western Australian halfback and driven forward. An awful lot of scrimmage in the middle of the pool, and then it just seems to break out to the sides. We have another referee's call against Victoria. Puck's been set and buzzer sounded. A big push in, very large scrum formed in the middle, and they're pushing through very hard, the Western Australians. And they've gained some momentum there, and they've laid it off to another Western Australian who's got a good flick in there. We just can't see at the moment, but it looks like it was gone in the goal. We don't know who scored that goal, but it's a goal for Western Australia, so 1-0. And they're off again. Victorians won the strike by a considerable margin. Immediately driven at 90 degrees to the pool across to the far wall. Currently about midway down the pool on the far side. And the Western Australians are trying to break it out to the centre. And looks like Megan Keppert, the halfback, flicked it back into the centre, but the referees have seen something again against Victoria. They'll be pushed back 3 metres and the puck will be reset. Another large scrum formed. Kirstine Reed's taking it across the pool for Victoria. And there appears to be a break. And again, it looks to be against Victoria. So there'll be another Western Australian assault on the goal. And a timeout has been called. And the timeout has been called by Western Australia. Yeah, it was about 14 seconds of people playing on where the players hadn't realised that the timeout had been called. And the referee had to rush in there and grab the puck and stop them. Very eager. As we have it, the score is 1 Western Australia, 0 Victoria. So it's a very tight, close match. If any of you want to comment on the feed to each other or to us, feel free to use the chat settings associated with YouTube and make any comments you feel like making, as long as they're all nice. Mr. Liam Watson, it's nice to have you watching and cheering for both teams. And we're underway again, still in that serious defensive position, the Victorians, and it looks like they're clearing it out down the wall. The Western Australians trying to curl it back around and come back in, but the Victorians have got it right out to the corner. Now there's just a waiting game of everybody in there, and it's picked up through the Western Australian by a Victorian, but she's immediately met by the Western Australian fullback. Now the play's gone out towards the centre again, and the referees have another foul being called, and it's against Western Australia. So Victoria take the puck, which will be great for them to relieve some of the pressure that they've been feeling so close to their goal tray, and they immediately move across to the far side of the pool. The play seems to be stuck on the far side of the pool, not advancing in any direction much. There seems to be quite a few numbers on the bottom. And there's a slight breakthrough from Western Australian, but once again held up. I would expect to see it come off the wall at some stage where somebody tries to do a decent swim across the pool, but we have another ref's call, and this time it's against Victoria. Certainly touches deja vu approach to this. There's another big push by it, and it looks like it's in. Another goal for Western Australia. We'll just wait for the referee's confirmation. No. No, it's not a goal. It's against Western Australia. They're being pushed back 3 metres. Obviously, the referees weren't happy with how that goal was scored. Might have been a bit of glove involved. Western Australia's already putting pressure on the Victorians. It looks like the Victorians are responding. Victorians have made a break. There's 3 of them on the bottom together. Will they be able to get through this Western Australian defence? They're still pushing hard. And that was a good flick through to the Western Australian attacker, but it's been curled off by a Victorian, and now pushing forward again. The Victorians are running towards an open goal. They have been intercepted by the WA defence though, probably 3 metres out from the goal, and now it's been taken across to the far corner. We still appear to be stuck in that far corner, and they're not getting it out at all. The Western Australians have just made a little mini break and pushed it up the wall some metres. And it's continuing on that wall. We're nearly at the halfway mark of the pool. And you can see there's an awful lot of congestion around the puck. And The referees made a call, barging against Western Australia, so the Victorians will get 3 metres set up and take the free puck. Only two and a half minutes left in this half, and the score is 1 Western Australia, 0 for Victoria. And I must say the play has been up on the Victorian goals an awful lot. Now we've also got a timeout now, so I dare say there'll be a lot of discussions going on, which it appears to be, between the Western Australians and also the Victorians. They certainly seem to be getting caught on the walls a lot and not finding any easy ways to get it out of the wall and to get some movement across the pool to open up the spaces. Just about ready to restart. And we're underway. Large scrum formed again. Coming diagonally across the pool. Intercepted by Victoria. And a turn and curl. Passed it through to the Victorian. But no, it's against Victoria. Chopping of the arm. Western Australia will be breathing a sigh of relief. So that's taken all that offensive effort that the Victorians did. It's taken the pressure off the Western Australians. Nice pass back and a switch across the pool for Western Australia. It would be good if we could see a little bit more of that happening. It looks like immediately it's gone all the way across to the other side, onto the wall again. Under a minute left for this half. And we have another call from the referees. And it's for barging, and it's against Victoria. Underway again. Still congested on the wall side. A fair drive down the wall though, towards the Western Australian goal, and the referee has signalled. Half time. So the score: Western Australia 1, Victoria 0 at half time, with a goal disallowed. For those that missed it earlier, there was an epic grand final for the Masters division between Western Australia and Queensland. The game went into extra time, and Queensland scored the winning goal 4 seconds from the finish of the second period of extra time. So it was quite an exciting game to watch. again. Comes the strike. Yeah, it's right for now. Another call by the referee. They've called for a referee's timeout to have a discussion. Against them. Like it's a goal, or just wait for, sorry, by the West number 6. Certainly matters when you've got a player for Western Australia. Ball for Western Australia to number 8, Zoe Canavan. Strong clearance from the Victorians, pushing out, being followed off them and centred around, fired back in the swing, and it looks like another goal. A goal to number 1, Megan Keppert. The score is now 2-2. The match tightens up with 9.5 minutes to go. Strong push by the WAs, but the referee has seen something. Yep, it looks like a barging call, so it's a free to Victoria. They're taking the puck and swum it quite wide off that free, heading towards the wall. And now we're just about on the wall, on the far side. Certainly not the best place to be if you want to make an assault on the goal. The referee's obviously seen an infringement, but he's playing up. He's called it now. And it's against Victoria. I won't use the term again. Quite a large scrum on the far side. Bit of slow wall movement. Now someone's bringing it back out towards the centre. They've been turned off it. It's coming out further on the centre again. All the way across to the near side wall. And we're down on the defensive end for Western Australia. Right, over to the far side wall again. Push across to the centre. And look at total side swap. In comes the Victorians to try and intercept. And manages to block the Western Australian pass. And has been turned off it. And the Victorians have made a great break out to the centre of the pool, but it's been intercepted by Western Australia. And a call against Victoria for barging. And we're about 3/4 of the way down the pool to the Western Australian goal. The Victorians have pushed it out to the wall. They're trying to lock it in on that side. Another quite hard Western Australian attack on the goal. And the referee's seen something. And it's against the Victorians again. This will give the Western Australians another chance. And a timeout has been called by Victoria, obviously to regroup. With 4 minutes 20 left on the clock. The scores are locked at 2-2. And it's a free to Western Australia right in front of goal. So obviously the Victorians are just using this for a bit of breathing time, as they know they're going to have to do some big defensive efforts to get it out and to get it down the other end of the pool. Right, 9 seconds till we're underway. This is going to take a strong defensive effort from the Victorian team. They wouldn't like to lose another goal or have them scored against it with only 4.5 minutes remaining. Large scrum on the bottom, not one player on the surface. Everybody is on the bottom, and it looks like Victoria have driven it out and heading towards the back corner where they can get some protection. Now they've run it out, passed it off. They're still against the near corner. West Australia are just trying to scoop it off the corner. And I would say there was a left arm involved in that, because as they swooped, I saw one person's arm go straight up and push somebody. And that'd be right, the Western Australian. So that's what's happened. As she's tried to turn, she just ripped the free arm. So Victoria's free, and that's great for Victoria because it'll take the pressure off their goal tray, which is the one thing they wanted. The Western Australians are still maintaining a great lot of pressure on them here. It's interesting from the camera angle, you can see 4 Victorians on the bottom all together. And it looks very similar for the Western Australians. There's a great deal of curling going on, but not to any great effect. When you curl, you like to be able to get a decent flick out, but they're curling, getting hit, then the next person curls and gets hit. There's no continuous play out of a curl to get any drive forward. We've got the Victorians swimming across the pool, intercepted, and the referees have made a call. We've got a Victorian player number 2, Lucy Padermo, has a 2-minute penalty. Now this will give the West Australians a great chance to capitalise on having that player out. So it's Lucy Padermo, 2-minute penalty and 5 on 6. Western Australia need to capitalise on this. There's only 2 minutes to go. It could be the difference between putting the game beyond doubt for them. Big defence on the goal tray. Can't really see much there with the referee, but it looks like it's been cleared out to the corner by the Victorians. Once again, with that extra number, Western Australia really needs to get it out wide, swing it round really quickly and apply a whole heap of pressure from the middle of the pool. And the Victorians will be trying to keep it in the corner. It looks like it's coming out now, diagonally. It's been picked up by the Western Australian again though, and being pushed along the back wall. And the Victorians seem to have defended it to the corner and have run down the wall a good 3 or 4 metres. Now it looks like the Victorian player that was sent out is now back in the water, so we're back to 2 full-strength sides. And that's not very good for the Victorian coach, and it looks like Western Australia have just scored a goal. We'll have that confirmed with the referees. Yes, it is. And that was scored by number 8, Zoe Canavan. Again, she's a bit of a goal-scoring machine, that one. With only 37 seconds to go, it'll be a massive effort here. Now the refs have called a timeout for some reason, and they're looking at the scoreboard and clock. And they're having some discussion. The Victorians would be best off, I'd say, doing a spear play. No, we've still got the Victorian player, I apologise, Lucy is still in. We couldn't see her because of the crowd standing in front. But she's still out, so Victoria is still down to 5. I'm still trying to work out what the discussion with the referees is. We're about to hear a whistle. A spear play would not go astray for the Victorians on this to get the maximum drive in the shortest amount of time and to have everything goes for them well. And we're underway. 30 seconds left on the clock. And the Victorians didn't look to go out too well combined then. And it's been jammed up already in the centre of the pool. Large scrum happening. And as you can probably hear the crowd outside, Lucy Padermo is back in for Victoria, but it won't matter as that's full time. So Victoria 2, Western Australia 3. Western Australia are the Australian champions for 2022 in the Women's Elite Division. Thanks everybody for listening. We've got the men's final up next, which should be a really good game. We hope to see some of you there for that.